Hello, and welcome to the World at War. Dire Bears Tuesday night, Scion 2nd Edition campaign. Who would like to give the review for last week?
It got fucked.
Yep.
It wasn't that bad.
We're going to London.
You're in London.
Some of us in different ways.
We're all in London.
We are all in London at this point.
Alright, so the raid on the warehouse did not go completely as expected. There were two large cyclopses, one of whom lassoed Sasha.
Yeah.
And let's see, may have gotten Sasha and Smoochums.
Yeah.
Robert grabbed
established
onto
they
the
went as
rope
a
and got
package
dragged
deal.
along with them. They were dragged to the back of the building by one Cyclops while the other one tried to distract the rest of the Scions. Got stuffed in a back room. The Farmer Bob Cyclops, as he got dubbed, comes back out and winds up catching an axe to the forehead for his struggles.
Yeah.
So he didn't make it, but the more traditionally attired Cyclops, I believe you found out his name was Belisarius.
Mm-hmm.
He got beat up but wound up basically surrendering.
Yeah.
And then Connor basically hired him.
Yep.
You found out he was basically working security for the Circle of the Impious in a sort of indentured servitude sort of way. He'd serve him for like a year and a day, and then they'd move him to the U.S. along with his herd of sheep. Things were getting a little dangerous on the little island he was living on.
Yeah.
Something about the locals on the next island over not liking his hunting expeditions. It never really came up what he was hunting.
We can only imagine. Yep.
So he's now on his way. He's now walking up to Allsgood to be like the town protector for a year and a day.
Mm-hmm.
All while under strict instructions not to eat anybody. When the two bands got back to that room, it was an empty room. There was nothing in there to generate the light they had seen come out the door when the Cyclops had opened it. I believe it was Connor had smashed the door open, but Penelope from the other band managed to piece the door back together and kind of look at some of the markings that had been put on it and realize it was some sort of magical effect. They eventually figured out that it was tapping into ley lines in some sort of like travel magic.
Yeah.
More than most likely, you could open that door and it would open into a room somewhere else in the world. And London seemed to be, from her reading of it, London seemed to be the most likely endpoint.
Yeah.
And I believe Connor also inquired to the god from the tree shrine.
Yes.
The Kodama.
Thank you, the Kodama. Who kind of backed up Penelope's theories.
Yep.
The other band, of course, isn't interested in going to London. Partly because, well, they may not have anything against you. They ain't that fond of you. I mean, not really.
They don't know us like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, good luck. Send us a card.
And Penelope expressed concern that, this might be a ploy to try to get Scions out of the city to try something, so she'd rather keep, her group here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get her a hat.
Let's see. The events were
Miniature
publicized
book
because the police were escorting Belisarius out of town, so you've got a few hours of the police basically, police cars
like
basically circling this Cyclops as he walks out of town.
Is it like a motorcade?
Yeah, kind of. The other band went with him because I believe Penelope could speak Greek. Talarius pulled a little something on Chad. As soon as he started talking to the media, he hit him with that verbal vomit thing he does.
They do.
So Chad just starts rambling on. And basically ends it with, oh, yeah, I need to give a shout out to my kids. And then goes through a list of like 10 or 12 names.
That we're aware of.
Yeah, nobody was counting when he started, so they're not sure. It's got to be at least 10 or 12.
Everyone slowly like pans over, like,
Well, none of his band seemed the least bit surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus and Julie and Jacob and Cody and Fred.
Chad Jr.
And the other
Chad the
Fred.
Third.
Mm-mm.
Well, at least he's not like George Foreman, and there's like, 8 Georges.
It would be very easy to remember the kids' names.
Yeah, it's George or Georgette. Yeah,
Mm.
depending on gender. Not that Michael Jackson was much better, but at least he was a smaller number. Because you had Prince Michael Jackson Jr. and Prince Michael Jackson II. The one they called Blanket. Though I think he has legally changed his name now, and I don't blame you. So anyway, the band makes their way, the ones that were not kidnapped, made their way to London by more traditional means. Bought plane tickets. And a very large dog carrier for Spruce. But just shortly after getting there, getting settled down in their hotel room, they were approached by a man who identified himself as Pip Torrens, who said he represented an organization that defends the kingdom from potential supernatural threats. So he was kind of just there to ask what brings an entire band to London.
The rest of the band.
They explained that to him. He seems surprised because that's not generally how the Circle of the Impious operates. And he offers to set up a meeting between the band and the head of the local chantry.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly willing to meet somewhere public. I believe y'all had settled on a restaurant.
Yeah.
Don't remember if I'd given the restaurant a name or not.
You hadn't, I don't believe.
No. But
Get some fish and chips.
But it's a little restaurant with like a little back room that it's windowed, so the rest of the restaurant could potentially see in there, which would cut down the amount of shady stuff that could go on. But you can shut the door so you've got some privacy.
Yeah.
And I believe he had set that up for later that evening.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. Let me go briefly to Sasha and Robert and Smoochums. You two wake up in a strange place.
Oh no.
You vaguely remember, things are hazy, but you kind of remember the Cyclops fight. Oh yeah, the rope.
Made it through a door.
Yeah, how the Cyclops kind of shoved you through the door. And about, you had half a dozen men pile on each of you. And start, poking you with syringes. Sasha, the last thing you remember for sure was one of the guys that piled on Smoochums screaming as Smoochums clamped down his arm and started rolling.
Very just kind of muddled, good boy.
Like in slow motion. And if only crocodiles could smile. But that's the last thing you remember for your past. He starts rolling and some more guys dive on him to, try to save their buddy's arm.
He might have crushed because he rolled on them.
Oh,
Well, he's not a full-sized hippopotamus. He's still got some growing to do.
He's still a big boy. He's a unit.
he's right on the border of, oh Lord, he's coming.
Yeah. Oh Lord, he coming.
You look over and the water in your glass is just trembling. But you look around, you're shackled to a wall. Not quite the, up against the wall. You're kind of slumped up, sitting down, slumped up against it, but you're chained and the chains are running hooked to the wall. You got enough leeway, you can scratch your nose. Probably stand up if you had to.
Not gonna be like taking walks around the cell or anything like that.
No. You and Robert are both there, just far enough apart that you probably can't reach each other, even if you pull your chains as far as they'll go. You do not see Smoochums.
Oh, my boy.
Sorry, he's luggage now. My bad.
Oh no.
A nice backpack.
First I
nuggets.
turn her grandparents into vegetables, then I turn her pet into luggage. I'm horrible.
Who wants gator nuggets?
They taste like
How
chicken
did
nuggets.
Sasha snap? Oh, I don't know.
Robert, you're also waking up in this room. The room's not well lit, but there is a light on in here. It's like a table lamp set up over in one of the far corners. It's kind of musty, makes you think of a basement. It's old brick.
No windows, of course.
No.
Well, this sucks.
Yeah, it does.
And right now you're feeling a little sluggish, almost a little hungover. You're probably working whatever they gave you. You're probably working out of your system, and you can kind of find a bunch of little spots where you got poked.
Ow. Oh, okay. Oh, please love a kidney.
Any idea of where we are aside from underground? Maybe?
No, it looks like old brick. No windows. Great. So, yeah, we're definitely underground somewhere. I don't even know where we were sent to. I know that big lummox shoved us through a door, and then we just got dogpiled.
Does your like you can like really slowly thinking the word up? Does your build castle and temple thing? Does it work like without tools?
Yeah, I just need a patch of dirt to do it from. If I remember right.
You
Are
would have a
they
hard
on a
time doing it while
dirt
shackled.
floor?
Do it now.
I was just about to be like, are they on a dirt floor?
No, it seems to be cement.
Mhm.
Poured cement. Looking around, you don't think the floor is as old as the walls. So at some point, this may have been a dirt floor, but it's not anymore.
Dumb.
Robert, you're kind of the architect, handyman, builder sort.
Mhm.
One thing that really strikes you about this room is, I'm when I say old brick, I mean just like old style brick. Nothing in Olympus is that old.
Individually made.
Remember Olympus was only began construction on back in the 80s.
Yeah. So whatever this is, it's like signature, dear sweet mother of God. This is you can't find this no more.
Well, it's not like it's ancient Roman or nothing. I mean, but
It's up there in
but
age.
probably turn of the last century.
Yeah. And he'd convey that to Sasha, like, yeah, this
this is definitely older architect than Olympus. So we definitely ain't nowhere near home.
It's a lot of.
Well, as long as nobody throws up, because if one of you throws up, that's gonna make the other one throw up.
Oh no.
You laugh, but that is me.
All right, so cutting back to the rest of the party, who are kicking it easy in their nice hotel room.
Nice.
It was a decent hotel room.
It's not a basement.
So Connor's going through his stuff and goes, "When did these get here?" Pulls out a pair of like black leather fingerless gloves.
Did you just throw stuff in there and not like think about it?
I mean, yeah, sometimes he'll just
Well-
put 'em- he'll just put them on, and just go, "Oh,
Huh?
this is something Dad did."
I'm just picturing it with like a little cartoon monkey face on the back of the gloves.
Just like embossed,
A
very
little- yeah.
tastefully.
Just a little cartoon monkey with a headband.
It's a cutesy little monkey with like a Ryu style headband.
Yep. Or just like
You
where
know,
they
yeah,
where they
that's
velcro over.
that's embossed on the back. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
He thinks, man, these will probably help me in combat, and he realizes all they're really good at is stealing peaches.
Gloves of banana peeling.
Pisses off an entire pantheon.
Ooh, that'd be a good one too for you. Anytime he picks up a banana, it just unpeels itself. These gloves are great.
Ah,
You know, in cartoons where they like squeeze the bottom of the banana and it goes flying up. That's what it does.
It's not even really enhanced strength. It just kind of defies physics.
Gloves of Wile E. Coyote. Made by Acme.
the gloves of Acme.
Yes.
It doesn't negate gravity. It just delays gravity.
Yeah.
So you notice it's still there.
Mm.
What time is our thing with the good and pious?
Oh, it's like 6 or 7 that evening. Y'all are it's getting close to time.
Hmm.
I mean, you have time to run out and do a little something if there's some particular something you wanted to do here in London.
Probably just kind of like walk around, see like, when's the next time I'm gonna be in London, right? Go look around and see, like, look at the sights.
This morning, Talarius posts off to London to save my buddies.
No,
And
they
there's all
did
these
not.
selfies of him in front of important spots in London.
No, they did not. They
Yeah, He
as
said he
far
had
as
like, stuff like loaded up to blog that he was home.
yeah,
But they were home.
they have a bunch of posts that are like, I am still at home. You don't know where I am, you bastards. The only tell is that it's like a lot more of that fake inspirational crap that isn't actually like a post that means anything. It's just words.
The
Except for the
cat.
videos.
And maybe
The
they're not as
cat
quick to
hanging.
respond to comments.
That's another thing. Do I get signal here?
You could have it set up ahead of time. I don't honestly know how many cell carriers that operate here would be operating there without some kind of,
Fee.
just or adjusting ahead of time or something. But you had a day to poke around. You could set something up. If nothing
Yeah,
else, just kind of a burner phone thing kind of thing set up or something.
Yeah, I'd probably set something up like that. I will take a bunch of selfies in London, but I'm not gonna post them yet. But they are getting a bunch of different little knickknacks for different members of the band and people they like. I probably won't be able to finish that like today, but Just as I go around, maybe the fish and chips place, maybe the restaurant we go to has like a little like souvenir cups or some shit.
Just drag line the gift shop.
It's London. You have no problem finding, touristy sort of stuff to buy. It's by no
Big
means in
Ben.
every shop, but it's in a lot of shops.
Big Ben bookends.
Ooh.
You hear that, British people? You're welcome.
No, one is Big Ben, the other is Tower of London.
Yeah, but they'd be like different sizes.
Let's go see Big Ben if we're gonna go see anything. If we have to.
I don't know if we have that much time. But sure.
Everybody wants to see Big Ben. No respect for Little Ben. Wonder if they still make those. My folks used to have a little clock that was like the brand name was Little Ben.
Mm-hmm. Grandfather clock.
No, it was just a little old school alarm clock that you have next to your bed.
Oh, I think
wind up in the back.
I think I've seen one of those before.
But so the time it's about time. You get a call from Pip. He's out. He's got a car out in front of your hotel.
Connor will just go.
Yeah, Solaris will follow.
Then with Jaden.
He greets y'all as you come out. It's not quite the size of a full limo, but it's got that kind of back seat with the seats facing each other.
It's still like a stretch situation.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's just not quite as fancy looking as a regular limo.
Sure.
It's like a subtle limo.
Pulling out the stops for us, I see.
Well, we have this in the motor pool and it's the right size. So.
You just happen to have a stretch.
You don't.
Yes. We have to operate on all levels of society sometimes. We have some clunkers sitting around too that we use when that's appropriate.
All right.
Sasha's not there, but she kind of likes this guy already.
Then he kind of opens the door and gestures in.
I'll go in.
He always, once he's in there with y'all, he knocks on the window, the car pulls off. Would anyone like a drink while we're driving? It'll be 30 minutes or so before we get there.
British tea?
Depending on traffic.
You wouldn't happen to have any rice wine in there, would you?
No, we don't keep that regularly stocked. I should have thought to have brought some.
British tea?
What? We have tea and we're British.
I'll take that. If you have any.
Yes, of course. He starts making some basically.
Sure.
Is anybody else here in static?
It's coming out of you, I think.
No, Rappy's just pinging whenever it comes up.
Oh, never mind then.
Oh, Duba's cooking. You might hear the cooking of the chicken.
Oh.
The sizzle.
The
Maybe that
sizzle.
is sizzling. That would.
Okay.
He's
Yeah,
deep
see-
frying.
As you can tell, I have my mic off, and if you listen, you can probably hear it good right now.
Actually, no, we can't.
No, we can't.
Just hearing the echo.
Well, because I have the Yeti and it picks up better than your headset. I had it fixed so it doesn't pick up as much, but
Microphones.
It's okay. We're fine.
Are we?
Really
we
static.
fine?
It's really sizzly tea.
But no, if so there's no rice wine, Connor will say, well, I'll just have some tea if you don't mind.
Of course.
Gotta do
I'll
something
take
to keep
water.
myself calm.
Water.
So he gives everybody what they want, pours him up just a little bit of scotch.
What'd you say about a little bit of scotch?
He pours him up a little bit of scotch.
Let's say he might need it before the night is done. Who knows?
Well, it's not like it's a lot. He's not getting himself drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not like a big gulp.
So it's not like he's getting drunk yet. I love it.
Well, you know, he does have
Man
he does
just
have to
tilts back
spend
the
a night
bottle.
dealing with y'all, and I know what that's like. So
He sets up 3 shot glasses and just gets just like the bottle like that.
these are for later. This is for now.
Those are the hair of the dog in the morning. This is the dog.
So, you know, you've got time to ask him any questions you want to before you get to the restaurant. You know, is there
Just
anything he
kinda-
hasn't told you already that you think you need to know going in?
So we're going to speak with representatives of in his band, or are we speaking with circle members?
No, this is circle members. He has set up a meeting with Fritz Lloyd
Gotcha.
Smith, the primus of the local chantry.
Gotcha.
He set up a meeting with the guy we're here to find.
Yeah. Wait.
Oh, wait, no,
the
no.
primus was
That don't
before-
sound right.
I'm
was
sorry.
that?
Fritz Lloyd
was
Smith was the
We're
primus
lazy
of
guys.
the Olympus.
Okay.
Of the
was-
Olympus. I'm sorry.
I was about to
He's-
say, if Fitzloyd Smith is the guy we're meeting and he introduces himself as such, Connor is immediately going into attack mode.
No, I'm
I
sorry.
would like to burn a legend for fists like pistons.
Yeah.
All right, he is OP Primus. Rupert Shrivener is the London Primus.
Okay. I was about to go, wait a minute.
Guys, this just
I've
got really
I've
easy.
got them listed one right after the other one. So
The Kill Bill sirens just turn on.
So wait, who are
Yeah.
we meeting? Spell the name.
Rupert,
Oh, Rupert.
Rupert,
Mm-hmm.
Grivner, which is my best shot at that, is Scrivener.
Wait, SCR.
Scrivener.
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 That'll work.
I
Scrivener.
thought you said Scrivener, and I'm like G, and then you're like S. I'm like, wait, what did I hear? Yeah. And he's the head.
He is the primus of the London Chantry.
Is there okay, so Tillers will ask, you understand if we're like, initially not hostile, well, a little hostile, but we're not gonna openly fight if you say that these people are, good people or not bad people.
They are generally peaceful people.
That is completely against what we have encountered in America.
It's like, yes, I understand why you would be tense about this.
Just tensions are going to be a little high at first. But is there like any particular, I don't know, faux pas we should avoid?
Yeah, Rappy,
No.
your static's getting real bad.
Crackling.
He's like, not that I'm aware of. I'm certain that within their organization, there's probably certain etiquette to follow. But, in what dealings we have with them, there's never been anything particularly strange or unusual you need to keep an eye out for. The vast majority of the members here are British. Occasionally with someone from another, maybe someone from a French chantry or a German chantry may be here doing research. Each chantry keeps its own library.
What dealings do you usually do with them?
Usually requests for information. They do a lot of research into the supernatural. So if we're confronted by a threat we are not familiar with, we may take what information we have to them and see if they can figure out anything. If we can't identify a creature, we may go to them along with several other groups. There's an old circle of druids up to the north that will consult with them sometimes. There's older cults
Like by
and
Stonehenge.
organizations.
Hmm. The people who abducted Sasha and Robert, they mentioned something to the effect of wanting to research the supernatural, which tracks with what you said. But they are researching Scions and trying to. They said level the playing field.
That is to some degree the leveling the playing field aspect that you bring up. That's to some degree the purpose of the circle. On some level, they don't believe humanity should have any gods or masters.
Have they looked at a local government?
I think they're starting at the top and working their way down.
That's dumb.
That's just my outside observation.
Sure.
The idea that they want to be studying those like you is not surprising to me. That the form of that study would involve, kidnapping and assault. That's very not their style.
Did it used to be their style years ago, or this just something that's never popped up with them?
To the best of my knowledge, they started in the Victorian era. Mysticism and occultism became very popular in social circles. It was kind of the pop culture of the day, if you will. So you had a lot of oddball organizations start up like that, but someone involved in the founding of this had some actual true occult knowledge, and they were a little more legit than Crowley set up and whatnot, because you had a lot of charlatans running around. We don't have any records of them as an organization being violent. Now, individual members, I suppose they have the criminal element as much as anybody, but we have no record of them attacking Scions specifically.
Until now.
Oh, that's fair.
So we could be dealing with a rogue member.
That would be my first instinct, but that's just based on my dealings with this local chapter. I've never dealt with chapters overseas, or I'm not even certain if they have other chapters here in England. I believe there's one over in Ireland, but there used to be one in Wales, but it wound up merging with the London branch.
I might be drinking a lot of tea by the time this meeting is done.
Well, you're in luck. The tea they serve here is quite good.
Yeah. Tell me something. Have you ever read Journey to the West by chance?
I am aware of it. I have not actually read it, no.
Okay.
I've watched translations of a couple of movies.
Right.
There's an anime of it too.
Of course there is. No, it's just Fitzloyd Smith screwed up really badly.
It certainly sounds that way.
Yeah. Just scrolled. Scroll.
Actually, as Eric is scrolling. I actually have a question for you, Connor.
Hmm.
Who am I in your allegory of Journey to the West?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Technically, you're kind of going east.
Well, I am now, yes.
Ah, but see, he's already in the west, so he would have to go east.
No, he just keep going west. Because it's a globe, you end up just going back to,
Where the hell did I? I wrote down what he believes everybody is, and I can't find it.
Well, Sasha, I think, was the
Sasha
Sasha's
was
the
the
monk.
monk.
She's the one that keeps him calm and in control of himself.
I think Robert was
Yes,
Sandy.
yeah. Robert is Sandy. Hold on.
which one was he?
It was the big. It was more the giant fella.
Yeah.
I forget like what he actually is.
Sandy. Quiet but generally dependable and hardworking character who serves as the straight foil to the comic relief of Sun Tzu.
That first part sounds very Robert-like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or Pigsy and the horse.
Well, the horse is also a dragon.
Yeah, white dragon horse.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just like, honestly, I don't know where to push you. You're not the horse, for sure.
God.
Because, I mean, the horse never talks.
That's very not hilarious.
I'll take that.
Oh, Celia, I
You know-
think he might be Pigsy.
You know, I think, yeah, you're pig.
Remind me about that one?
Best way to put it, reliable fighter, but also characterized by an insatiable appetite for food and women. Have you seen the
What?
plate of nachos you always order?
I get that for everybody.
And one of your
You eat half of it.
things is literally food. The relic your dad gave you is literally food.
That's fair. I'll give you that one.
And he's very after, or they are very after viewers.
Yeah, there's different kinds of lusting.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious lust for those numbers.
Listen, that just makes their serotonin go up.
Those curvy numbers.
I'm just saying that's kind of how you could mold that to fit Pig, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Connor's like, I mean, you're not all like, women. It's more, I think you kind of lust for attention, I think, is kind of how I see you.
Pip is very quiet, sipping his scotch. This conversation got rather personal. I barely know these people.
Takes the bottle.
I was warned Yanks were like this.
Just curious. Not offended or anything.
Yeah. That's just kind of where I see you sometimes.
Fair enough.
I mean, the important part to that is reliable.
It's me.
What the crap? By which I mean, hi, Otter. Well, I was going to type it in, and now it wants me to log in. I thought I should already be logged in to this thing using.
Well, so that's a hell of a way to say hello to somebody. What the crap?
Well, I went to type hi, Otter, and the login to Twitch.
My God.
But Streamlabs should already be signed into Twitch, so I don't know. I'm confused, and I hate technology.
Move.
Yeah.
Old
Yeah,
man
that's a
yells
strong
at
move.
computer. Old men yell at computer.
Well, it's better than when I was a young man and punched one of my computers.
Fair.
I want to hear that story after session.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I punched the computer, broke the front plastic, it had a blood stain the rest of the time I used it.
Ooh.
Might have been the same computer that I ended up having to use, take the on-off switch out and just basically hotwire it anytime I wanted to start. It was not the best computer I've owned.
What are you doing? I'm gonna hotwire this computer.
Well, that sounds like it's a computer that had some that had some history and class to it, though. How does it start? Hot wiring.
Take this wrench.
Blunt force
Alright.
trauma.
First,
mu-
ground yourself.
Much to Pip's relief, I'll eventually pull up to the restaurant.
Just players has something to think about. As always, as we enter, they have a audio recording going.
Let's say it's. I'd also like to point out that the other part of the story of Pig, though, him and Sun Wukong do not get along all the time. They
That's also
clash
fair.
a lot. But Connor did not say that. He pointedly left it out.
Though I can see where that would fit. Don't talk to the media, Connor. I'm gonna go get a personal interview.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
And
talk
then the
immediately to
station
the
is on
media.
fire.
Basically.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
All right. Well, I mean, we're here. Audio
Yeah,
recording.
let's
Audio recording turned on. Quiet room in the back. I take it.
Yes, and Pip just walks back there. And as you're approaching, yeah, it's got, it's basically like a window, a wall with, it's more window than wall. There's
I'll-
3 people already, 2 of them are already sitting at the seat. One's up in the corner, looking like security, kind of, just the way he's standing.
Just like doing kind of this bit.
Basically,
Yeah. Sure.
gives you all kind of the eyeball as you walk in.
Just kind of roll my eyes at them. Just
Not like they're
nothing-
trying to be intimidating, but just like they're just sizing you up, trying
Yeah.
to guess who the biggest threat is or something. Though he gives Pip a nod as he walks in.
Alrighty. Hi. We're
The man at the table stands up. Hello, I'm Rupert. How did we say to pronounce that last name? Scrivener?
Scrivener.
Thank you.
Scrivener.
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 Nice to meet you, Rupert.
He
Mr.
shakes hands.
Scrivener.
He introduces the woman next to him. This is Eunice. He doesn't give her last name. But
Eunice. And the guy back there? Just nobody or
crap, I blanked on his name. David.
your notes are right there, man.
Yeah, but I have a list of
no.
random NPC names, and I've actually gone through them because I didn't
Mhm.
replace Pips after last week.
The guy that was telling you his name blanked on his name.
David. A nice name.
David shrugged. It's biblical.
The irony.
Though I've totally killed giants. But anyway. No, David actually just kind of, if you address him, he nods or whatever. But he's very much being the professional security kind of in the background. Please everyone have a seat. Pip when he called and set this up, had a rather disturbing story. Could you please tell me in your own words what happened?
There was a Circle of the Impious group in America who has kidnapped 2 members of our band. And they are wanting to experiment on them because they're unique homebodies as Scions, which is unique to them. what I got out of it.
Homebodies.
Like they stayed in one place as
A lot of
unlike
Scions do travel, though I would hardly say it's unique to have one with a home base.
that's what they said, that they were
But it
unique.
is slightly unusual. When you stay in one place for very long, you sort of attract unfortunate events.
Oh, is that right?
Eunice speaks up. Some of the younger members of our order refer to you as weirdness magnets.
Sounds about right.
Like
But
attracts
considering-
like.
So considering most of the weirdness has come from the circle,
Yes.
Rupert kind of nods. We
actually, all the weirdness in Olympus has come from the circle.
So far?
when he told us where you were from, we researched the area. So when you say all the weirdness, I assume that you mean the street gang displaying elemental powers, and the recent incident with the people being reshaped into semi-aquatic forms.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we lost a Zay.
Yeah, she said she may be crashing. She's working on it, question mark. But also but yeah, those two things are extremely what's going on right now.
What about the incident to the north?
That was a wild hunt. Don't know if it was from you guys, but yeah.
Well, European inspired, but not technically you guys, I guess. Unless you guys incited the wild hunt and I didn't know that.
No, even if we have a rogue, I wouldn't think they would do that. The hunt is, well, according to the writings, almost impossible to control.
Sounds about right.
But do you have a chapter in America? Like,
No, we've never established anything in the Americas.
Well, you did, apparently. Even if it is a rogue cell, you did have something in Olympus.
Or simply someone
Fine.
using our name. What information do you have that would prove it was the Circle of the Impious? I mean, but clearly you got the name from somewhere. I mean,
Practically every magical artifact we got held the same kind of telltale sign of the mishmash hodgepodge of magic you all have a tendency to collect.
Eunice frowns over that description of their magic.
Not wrong.
I'm not a magic person, so I don't know how to put it together in a more eloquent
We have
terminology.
exactly one magic person and they've been kidnapped. But the way they described it was essentially 4 or 5 different schools of magic in a trench coat.
Rupert's like, that's not an entirely unfair. It's not a generous way to describe us, but not entirely inaccurate.
You'll have to forgive us. 2 of our band has been kidnapped.
and everything points to you, your group. So,
But yes, we do use essentially any magics we run across, as long as they're not deemed to be, inherently dark in some fashion or too dangerous.
How do you
That if I
how do
can
you
real quick,
consider
guys.
Huh?
If I can real quick, because
Go for it.
that's an ancillary question. Further information was after an interrogation of one of the members, they listed quite a many terms that you all use. That Fitzlord's Fifth is the Primus, who was using a gateway nexus to transport himself from London to Olympus. That the warehouse we did battle with the Cyclops in was their chantry, etc.
You said Fritz Lloyd Smith.
Yes.
That name sounds vaguely familiar.
If I may.
He kind of looks at
Just-
Eunice and she pulls her phone out and starts
Oh,
texting
okay.
somebody. Well, pulls it out and she has to power it on and she starts texting. I mean, they wouldn't be rude enough to have their phones turned on in a meeting like this.
Sure. Don't you burn me like that. If I may, I do have let's call it latent abilities to ensure just everyone's being truthful. We can all take turns with it, if you prefer.
We have a similar skill.
Okay. Same time?
Ours is already going.
Okay. Cool. Is it hitting all of you, or is it just hitting us?
It alerts us, and when he says us, he gestures to himself and Eunice. It alerts us if a lie is told anywhere within this room.
Interesting.
So not exactly like yours, but he doesn't know that. And as y'all discussing that, Eunice leans over and shows him something on her phone. We may know who this Fritz Lloyd is, though he has never technically been a member of the Circle of the Impious. His father, Reginald, however, was. Reginald was problematic and was ejected from the order 30 years ago.
For what?
Are you familiar with eugenics?
Yes.
Yes.
He
There
had
we
something
go.
of an interest in that. He had some very problematic and out of some views that were a bit out of bounds for what the order
He's
liked to
racist.
represent. Yes, essentially, yes.
As
Okay.
in, probably the reason why he captured two members of our band is he wants to probably harvest their genetic code to enhance his own and his followers in order to elevate them beyond human limits to a more godlike state because, no gods, no masters, right?
That's it's a lot of theorizing, but it's essentially possible. Though I'm not sure if genetics would be the thing. I'm not sure if Scions are actually different genetically from humans, or if the divinity is another layer. But essentially, yes, I think he would want to. It's very possible that if he's following his father's footsteps, he's wanting to study you to find a way to enhance normal humanity.
Well, he's welcome to study my fist all he likes. He'll only get one shot at it, though.
Do you have a known or last known address? Or addresses?
Yes, Rupert owns some property outside of London. Well, he also owns some property in London, but their main estate was outside of London.
Rupert?
Though they did have a home here. Rupert Smith, Fritz Lloyd's father.
Oh.
Now Rupert passed a few years ago 5 or 10 years ago, I think. So I don't have the information on hand as to who owns the property or who inherited the property. I would imagine that Fritz Lloyd would have inherited some of it. He wasn't Rupert's only child.
You can pass us the list of addresses.
He gives you the address for the spot outside of town, as well as the like townhouse they own. Not townhouse like a little bitty something, but the house they have here in town, which is something Victorian era at least. Now,
Interesting.
before I give these to you, I need assurances that you're not simply going to go kicking in doors without some level of investigation.
We're not here to cause trouble for the innocent people. Don't worry.
Okay.
Although when trouble does inevitably find us, I'm here to end it.
Gotta
She
say, I
kind of
missed the
looks over
monkey.
at Pip. Please tell me you're not just simply going to let them run amok. I understand that things need to be investigated and your friends need to be found. And Pip's kind of like, I'll try to liaison for them and keep things civil.
I don't know how civil you can get when 2 of your bandmates have been kidnapped, but
Pip looks at you. Oh, when we find Fritz Lloyd, yeah, things may get uncivil then. But if we're questioning the rest of his family or something who may or may not be involved.
oh, absolutely. I'm not gonna punch a random just what do you say, Fitzwit Smith? Smith.
We're not going to hurt any innocents. We're just looking for the person who took our friend.
And he slides the little paper he'd written the addresses down over to you. Eunice does not look particularly happy. But she hasn't really looked happy since y'all walked in, so.
Well, I'm happy to have spoken with you. Eunice, is there anything you would like to add that may or may not assist us with this?
No. If this Smith fellow is causing this sort of trouble and bringing heat down on the circle, he needs to be stopped.
I mean, I'm not as intuitive as some of my friends here, but you look a little conflicted.
Maybe?
I don't like the ideal particularly of helping Scions. No offense against you personally, but you are basically the representatives of all we oppose.
Then I think
My enemy, right?
I think it's in your best interest then to make sure that we get out of your hair as soon as possible.
Rupert kind of nods along with that. Yes, we would like to resolve this quickly.
I just want to resolve this and get a few souvenirs for family, and that's it.
Eunice is like, what sort of souvenirs?
I don't know, some
It's like,
curiosities.
oh, they went to London and all I got was this shirt type thing.
She's like, oh, you mean actual like knickknacks? Oh, never mind.
What did you think I meant?
I wasn't entirely certain.
An artifact from the great beyond?
London has a lot of those.
Yeah, and we wouldn't know.
And frankly, we would hate for outsiders to come in and plunder us of our artifact.
It doesn't feel great, does it?
I imagine that it wouldn't. She is completely oblivious.
That's it. We're just here to get our our fellow bandmates, and we will leave promptly. That's it. You both have been a help, and I appreciate you both.
Rupert stands up, shakes hands again.
Mm.
If when you find him, you need any of our assistance, you know, and it's if he's really been using occult means to do all of this, if you need our help, we will be happy to help. It'd be
Would you
something of a
truly be
responsibility.
happy?
What was that?
Would you truly be happy to help?
Did your light thing go
We would
off?
be willing to help. We would feel responsible that we should help if needed.
Okay.
We thought we had rendered Rupert harmless, but if he's passed his knowledge and inclinations onto his son, would be something of a failing on our part then.
Well, here's hoping that we rectify it together. They'll get like the drink they bought, like the drink they purchased, and just kind of like hold it up as like a toast or whatever.
And there's probably been some food at some point during this.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a restaurant. You are trying to look normal.
Old-fashioned fish and chips.
You've got that. All the native guy, you know, everybody that's from here has got like, oh, yeah, this one's got a steak, and this one's got some kind of pasta, you know.
Yeah.
Well, say Connor has pasta.
Think of this restaurant as kind of a, you know, Ruby Tuesdays, O'Charlie's, just kind of, you know, a little bit of everything.
Sure.
I mean, fish and chips are definitely on the menu. But, you know.
Look, I just want fish and chips from London. Any other food that I want to get, I'll go to like Italy or France or somewhere else. I don't really care for British food.
Oh, come on. They've got dishes that are basically boiled bread. How could you not like it?
Yeah.
So, you know, with the meal finished and the conversation finished, everybody kind of gets up and heads out. Pip's like, well, I think that went fairly well. Things were a little awkward, perhaps, but not as tense as I was afraid.
That's why I had tea on the way here.
It does have a calming influence on one.
That's the point.
Well, we weren't going to just wholesale punch people, especially if they agreed to parlay with us.
Well, generally speaking, like as I've said, my experience with the circle has always been they've been a peaceful sort. Very quick to offer information to help if there were, you know, dangers to the people of the Isles. I'm certainly glad that it's looking like it was one rogue and not an entire country that's gone rogue.
Sure is looking that way. Can only hope that is the case.
Where would you like to start looking first? We have a couple of addresses to check out.
Maybe it is good.
Did you want to split up? You and Connor take one address, me and Spruce take the other.
Oh yes, please.
Well,
Or Connor can make, copies of himself, and all three will take one address, and you, me, and Spruce take the other.
Well, I think the implication here is that Pip is joining us.
Pip can come with us then.
Yeah.
Or go with Connor to keep an eye out on him.
Or I could call in a friend of mine to travel with one of the groups while I travel with the other.
What do you think, Connor?
Whatever gets this done the fastest.
That's why I suggested maybe splitting up, hitting both houses at the same time, kind of deal.
Kind of like what we did the first time we were investigating the alpha dogs. Just two of you just.
Can you make an extra copy of yourself? I know you've kept one at the shrine.
Yeah. And he'll pluck a hair off. Let's see.
Is that how he does it? Plucks a hair out?
Yeah.
Drops it.
It grows back. It grows back almost immediately. Let's see. So it was. Relation. We have a clone.
Woo!
People passing by on the street kind of stop and like,
Do we have just one clone or two?
One.
Okay.
Because I know he keeps one at the shrine all the time.
Now Pip does not look particularly shocked by what you did. Yeah, he's just kind of like, huh.
Yeah. Right. So you're going with them. I'm going with whoever.
You have to say that to them, or is it just like a mental thing? You can just like,
Yes.
Both mental and he's speaking it.
I understood that. All right. Well, I'm with you, Fo Connor.
Pip gets on the phone to call another car. You know, pulls out his phone, has to power it up. It's like, all right, well all right, which group is going to the estate outside of town, and which group is going to the house here in town?
I think the group that has the Fo Connor should go to the one outside of town. Me personally.
All right, out of towners, in towners. So Fo Connor's going out of town.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he would be going with us.
Yeah. Looks like Connor's being in town.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Fo Connor is out.
Gives
Connor is in.
gives Connor an incentive to not go so chaotic. Which I mean, we trust him not to, but you know, every now and again.
All right, so that's the Connors taken care of. Jaden, which group are you going with? Pardon?
I guess she'd go to the one out of town.
Yeah.
All right.
Tolaris is also going to the one out of town.
And Talarius?
Your camera's out of. There you go.
I have to like lean this way to have it focus again. It's weird.
Gotcha.
All right, so
It's not like they can tell on stream right now. They're all out of whack right now until
yeah, right now, yeah, wait on Sarah.
until Sarah comes back.
She just sent me a message saying that her computer's just spinning on the Dell logo screen, which has her sweating.
Oh no!
That's not a good sign.
I want to wear my ears.
Wear your ears.
They're different
Packing
sizes.
Huh?
They're different sizes.
No,
Got
they're
like a
not.
little ear and a big. Oh, okay. You just had it pinned under the. I got you.
It's the headset smushing them down.
Yep.
Like when I tie my hair back, it's like, can you tell I have something back there?
I think I'm working now.
Yeah, you are.
Yay!
Yay!
Huzzah!
the hell's going on with this?
I'm back.
Oh no.
I just slightly bent. sneaky
Sarah
crack.
comes back and Rappy immediately throws her back.
Oh.
Right.
Sarah's computer is now working, and Rappy has gone offline.
Mm.
Not Rappy's computer, just Rappy.
Until I figure out why it's doing it, what it's doing, I may just hang on voice only for now.
Fine.
All right, in that case, I will take a moment to adjust the
Mm.
dreaded cameras.
Something.
Oh, there's where that extra zoom one was hiding. I didn't lose it after all.
I was hiding. Yeah.
All right, throw the set picture back up.
We learned a little bit.
As I say, somebody give me the short.
Rogue
Wait.
agent, 2 locations. Most of the group is going to the area outside of town with a clone of Connor, real Connor, and a member of the local Magus Association is going to the house inside town.
Fun.
Goody.
Robert,
Wow, there's 2 of me. My self-consciousness is at an all-time high.
Robert and Sasha now singing 99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer.
We take one down and pass it around. 98 bottles of beer on the wall.
Yep, that's how it's going.
Oh, also Fitzloyd Smith actually has no connection to the circle at all.
It's
Fantastic.
It's his father who had the connection and then was kicked out.
Because he was into
Because-
eugenics and
Daddy's
stuff.
boy.
Yeah, I must say because eugenics.
He was kicked out
I'm
like
trying
20 or
to-
30 years ago, you know, and
Trying
died
to
4 or 5.
con this shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's got to set up. Okay, so basically
fear for
everybody's
his-
going to the out of town estate, except for
Except
real
for-
Connor, who's going to the in town. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll look at Pip and be like, "Who's ever Pip's going with us, right?"
Yes.
Okay.
is with
Oh,
y'all.
we'll just need to stop by back the room. I need to grab my dog.
Oh yes, I'm sure he would love the estates.
I will say, before we left the restaurant, Hilarious would have gotten like I don't know, maybe like a printing of the menu or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just,
they got
you know,
paper. They got
little
paper menus,
souvenirs.
no problem.
Yeah.
Get it, DoorDashed later.
Another vehicle pulls up. This one's just a smaller, like little 2-door. Yeah, Pip looks over at Connor. Please let me introduce you to my brother in arms over here.
Mm-hmm.
This is William. Will, this is Connor Hughes from across the pond. William nods, kind of leans over, at the passenger's side, and no, I take that back because the driver's on the other side, so he just reaches out the window to shake hands.
He said it. He said the thing.
Mm-hmm.
He said what thing?
Across the pond.
Oh yeah. Y'all got bingo cards up?
I was gonna say cross it off, bingo.
Mm-hmm.
William shakes your hand. Pleased to meet you. I've been updated on the situation. He gestures to his dash. I've got it. The address programmed into the GPS. We should be good to go.
Well then, let's not waste any time.
He just gestures over to the passenger seat.
And then he'll get in.
The rest of you load back up into the car y'all had been in before. And proceed to begin driving out of town.
Right.
Now that Sarah's back, let's jump back over to Still fiddling with Windows stuff. All right.
I was like, did I crash again?
Mm.
No, because there's another instance where I try to slide one element and it just grabs everything on the screen and starts sliding around. Because why not?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds
Oh,
about
hey,
right.
I see you locked this in place. Clearly, that means you want it to all move.
That means you want it movable, right?
Yeah.
That's the only difference I've noticed. Is if I lock it in place and try to move one element, it moves everything.
Yep.
There's in chat. Maybe he can help at some point.
All right. So back over to the basement. You two have been awake for a good hour or so now. Your heads are clear. You start to hear, as you've gotten down to about 10 bottles of beer left on the wall, you hear a lock turn in the door. The door swings open. A couple of people walk in. One is a bearded man in a nice suit. The other one is dressed more casually and has like a pistol on his hip. Sarah, did you say something?
No, I did not.
Okay. I thought I heard something. It may have just been.
It's
Just
me
the
being a
voice.
smartass.
Oh, might have been.
I was like, big iron, big
Oh,
iron.
yeah.
Sasha will just kind of look up, like, just looking up, waiting for them to say something. Because at this point, she's like, you know what? Anything I say is going to be really mean,
Mm.
and I'm chained to a wall.
It's earned.
So the guy with the gun stays by, he's kind of got a hand on the gun, not like he's about to draw it, but just kind of down there. When he comes to the door, he just kind of steps to one side. Clearly he's not the boss. The bearded fellow walks up. He glances at Robert. And then he just kind of locks eyes with Sasha. You look so much like your mother.
Immediately, completely, utterly tense. And what would you know about my mother?
Oh, she came and stayed on the estate for a while. Oh, her and your father, too. You just don't look as much like him.
You can't hear them, but Kill Bill sirens.
Mm.
That was back before you were born, of course.
Naturally.
They hadn't thrown their lots in with the gods yet. Quite the opposite, really. But I'm sure you know all about that.
If that's what you believe. And you are?
Fritz Lloyd Smith, at your service.
I doubt it.
You're right, it's a pleasantry. But I am pleased to meet you. Perhaps I should have gone with that.
Pleased to probably dissect me, more likely.
No, nothing that extreme.
I guess because the kidnapping and whatever this is not extreme enough.
Let's see what would be kidnapping and
Moving across international borders. Even though she doesn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Imprisonment.
Well, laws are well, let's face it, laws are made for the convenience of the lawmakers. or in this case, the higher powers that work behind the scenes.
He's out of pocket, but he's got a point.
We're
Yeah, the point's wrong, but
here we are working for the betterment of all of humanity.
somehow I think it's more for the betterment of you.
Well, I am part of humanity, so I suppose you're right to some degree. I can't, under the circumstances, absolutely understand your reluctance to believe me.
Yes, you kidnapped me, made my grandparents into vegetables. I think you can see where I'm coming from here and my lack of willingness to believe or cooperate with you.
Yes, the incident with the grandparents was unfortunate. It was
Oh yes, I'm sure you cry nightly about the wrongs you've done.
that was a lieutenant taking matters into his own hands to some degree. It was not authorized. I mean, it was a lovely ideal, but if he had come to me with it, I could have given him something a little more appropriate to use than what he used. Something of a more temporary nature. But yes, I'm very interested in you and your friend. And this is when he finally looks at Robert and addresses him. Did we get your headset on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me, Mr. Jones, I believe it is.
Yes, sir.
And I hope this doesn't come off as a too personal a question, but you were conceived in a fairly traditional manner, correct?
As far as I'm aware.
Ah, good. I know Miss Adele here was sold by her parents to a god. He just kind of shakes his head like the whole ideal disgusts him. I'll be curious to see what the differences are between, her and you. If it makes any difference.
Well, to be fair, don't think Mom and Dad ever took the time to tell me if I was conceived or given up at any point to be different. As far as I know, I was just a normal Nebraska boy growing up and living a normal life for a while.
And then that was taken from you.
You say taken, but I mean I've accepted what's going on. I can't change it now, so I have to learn to accept it and continue on going.
What if you could change it now? Either by giving up what's been done to you and going back to that normal life, or perhaps being able to elevate all those other normal people to your level. That's really what we want. Is everyone on the same level?
Okay, I'll buy it. And what traditional means do you try to accomplish this? Because I have to assume it's rather interesting.
Well, right now we are in kind of a pure research mode. We need to find out what makes you semi-divine beings semi-divine. Is it a physical mechanic, like genetics? Or is it something completely on a higher plane, something that only exists within kind of the supernatural realm? I have to imagine it's much that we're in much the same position as physicists in the earliest days of trying to study quantum physics. There's a whole level there that we don't understand that we're only just becoming aware of. As you can understand, this is a long-term project.
Oh, I can only imagine.
As he's speaking, a few more people come in. A man, a couple of women. One of the women starts giving orders to the man and the other woman, and they start taking out syringes.
Robert just kind of glances over without much hesitation. I'm like, I see it's time for a daily dose of medicine if I have to guess by these lovely souls that just came.
The woman looks. No, we were taking blood samples, and they,
Ah,
they alcohol your
was-
arm, cotton ball with alcohol in your arm. Take a, pull a syringe or two of blood from each of you.
I was partially right, just reverse. But anyway, as you were saying, please continue.
Uh, so once things are settled, we want to make your stay here as comfortable as possible.
Hmm.
I mean, this room is obviously, does not scream comfort.
Well, I'm having to take guess you're taking as extreme measure as you can because you don't know what we do or what we could do.
Mm-hmm. We've been gathering intelligence. We know that you can. I've been out and I saw the Fort Jones that you had set up in. All good. Wonderful job that you did protecting that town too. Those poor people.
No, not every one of them could be saved, but we tried our best to make sure we got any remaining survivor out that we could.
Don't you think the world would be better if they could have defended themselves?
Well, generally that is the consensus. If you're going to defend yourself, you don't need the help of others.
He's looking between Robert and Sasha at this point. I would very much like to convince you to help me of your own free will. Though I realize I'm coming at this from a backwards manner, or in a backwards manner. But
I would very much like to bathe my hands in your blood, but we don't all get what we want.
well, see, now you're reminding me of your mother a little more. She had that sort of mean streak when she wasn't getting what she wanted.
Which mother?
A fair point, probably both, but I meant but I was specifically referring to Salma.
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 Yeah,
I look forward to showing you a little bit of both.
Your mother craved power, but she was a bit impatient about it, which was when that mean streak would come out. Wanted to delve into things not even I or my father would touch. Quite upset we wouldn't let her. Though, truthfully, father couldn't have let her. Those texts were confiscated when he was, well, there was a bit of unpleasantness. It's not important now.
Well, the women in my family were always known for getting what we want. We'll see how that holds up with this generation.
Delightful. I suppose, Mr. Jones, that you're not going to be particularly cooperative either.
To be fair, I'm not going to be hostile to you as of right now, though depending on what methods you wish to go through in obtaining information will probably differ my opinion and my willingness to cooperate. For now, harmless blood samples and whatnot, that's not too much to ask.
The plan is to begin with blood samples, tissue samples, mouth swabs, that sort of thing. MRI scans, that sort of thing. We're limited on what I can do in this facility, but we're getting some medical equipment set up somewhere else to do a more thorough examination. No dissections or anything like that.
He'll have a pondering look on his face, like, for right now, I will be compliant. I cannot say that the rest of our band will be once they find us, which I have a very strong feeling they're at least attempting to look. But for
I
now,
imagine
sir,
they'll have a very hard time tracking us.
Well, for now,
Sasha
sir,
cackles.
For now, sir, I shall be compliant, but once you go past the stage of doing things in a relatively passive manner and become more aggressive, that might be when I tell you no.
I can understand that. But I assure you, we intend you no harm. There is a very good chance that what makes you different is of a spiritual nature, and if you were to die, your spirit would depart, and So even if you don't believe in my good nature, just from a practical point of view, please believe that I need you alive and relatively healthy.
As I said, you change from passive to more aggressive means to either me or Miss Sasha over here. You won't like me very much. But for now, I'll be compliant.
Excellent, excellent.
Want Robert turn into the Hulk now.
You wouldn't like him when he's angry.
The little medical staff finishes up what they're doing. And when they leave, someone else comes in with some food. There's some fish, there's some beef, there's some vegetables, They basically set it up on like little table trays for you. They bring in a couple of chairs.
Sasha's like doing everything very begrudgingly right now. Like she's eating because she knows she needs to eat to like be of any use in an escape attempt. But yeah, she looks very just displeased with the entire universe right now.
Oh, and through the doorway they came through, looking back, you can see stairs leading up somewhere.
Okay.
Further giving you the feel that you're in a basement somewhere.
Where's the smoochums?
Yeah, she was gonna ask, like, just in general, the emote that arrived with us. Where is he?
Oh, the creature. We have him in a pen on the property. We used to keep a rather large breed of dog here, but so far the kennel is holding it fairly well.
Hopefully that
it has shrugged
lasts
off the
for-
drugs about like you have, so he rather mangled the arm of one of my men.
I'll be sure to send him a sympathy card.
I'm sure. I'll admit we were not expecting to get quite so many fish on our hook. Though on the other hand, studying the creature could be fascinating.
Even more Kill Bill sirens.
I can't wait to see if the individual portions have the same genetics.
Like double bass Kill Bill sirens.
I hate to make threats, but it would probably be better for your pet if you behaved yourself.
She doesn't say anything either way.
She just sits there and eats.
Sits there and eats like, I am going to carve your bones from your body. I'm going to tell futures in your bones. If I wanted your opinion, I'll read it from your entrails.
Of course, the cutlery they've given you is all plastic. So.
Yeah.
Particularly flimsy plastic. There.
It's mostly
you can
finger
still cut
foods.
Still cut with plastic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mostly like finger food hors d'oeuvre style stuff anymore.
Well, he turns and he leaves with the medical staff. The folks that brought you the food stay in the room. The security guy stays in the room and then gathers up the stuff when you're done. Once all that's gathered, everybody sits back outside, and the guy with the gun shuts the door, and you hear the lock it, or the key in the lock again.
Robert will take a moment and he won't look at Sasha immediately. He'll start looking at the chains on his wrists and like look at the cuffs and start looking at the chains themselves. Like, Sasha, you know the beautiful thing about being a crafter?
You can dismantle and remantle things.
He looks back at her with the biggest shit-eating grin. You know me already.
I have seen some of your work, yes.
Essentially, Robert's trying to look and see if there's like any weak points to the chains or even the cuffs that keep them, bound. Like, is there pins he could probably push out, or if there might be a weak point in the chains he could possibly just snap.
Okay, what kind of roll do you think that would be?
That is a good question.
Let's
Probably
see
technology
here.
would be one of them, I would think.
Probably intellect or cunning for the stat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
go
as
ahead and
for
give
like
me a technology. Uh, intellect or cunning.
probably intellect.
Intellect to kind of know what it is.
If he's looking at it with like a
I
craftsman's
would
eye.
say intellect if you're really taking your time. Cunning if you were just trying to do it really quick, because that'd be more of a how quick can I, quickly can I notice.
No, he'd be taking his time with that.
Okay, use intellect then.
Don't have anything else to do.
I
True.
mean, basically, there's not much he can do. Now, please, RNG, don't screw me.
Hello, this is
Wow.
RNG.
What's that
Wow. Okay,
roll?
no. To give you in retrospect, I have 4 points in intellect and 5 in technology.
Yep.
And you rolled one success.
You have a specialty in that, do you?
I need to take time and actually think of that because I have not put any specialty in that. I should. I know.
Well, you should have, because that would have given you an extra point.
Yeah.
It would have been 2 successes.
That's your bread and butter, my dude.
Man, you
Yes,
rolled two
but
ones. If you hadn't rolled that one success, I could have
Yeah.
had some fun.
What happened? He somehow like wrangled his arm into the chain and is cutting off circulation to it.
No, he'd have been completely convinced there's a weak link that he could break whenever he needed to, and then when it goes to break it, it doesn't break.
oh yeah, that would have
It's a
probably
big
been
dramatic moment that he just kind of embarrasses himself.
That's a mood.
But I take it he didn't really get much information. Since RNG decided to say, haha, no.
Yeah, modern handcuffs are pretty sturdy things. These are not like medieval era shackles. They're actually the only new thing in the room.
I was fixing to say, if it was like old medieval styles, like there should be an easy weak point to these things.
This pin here, can we move?
The closest thing to a weak point would probably be where it's bolted into the wall. Because the old brick that it's bolted into is pretty old. But it would take a lot of working it back and forth and making, it would make noise. But if you had to work your way loose, that'd probably be how you do it.
He'll sit there and he'll kind of mutter to himself and like, well, that's unfortunate for me.
If you had any kind of tool on you to be like chip away at it, it might be easier. But you don't have your gun, all your stuff, your wallet's gone.
But sir, if I understand a particular ability of mine, I don't need anything.
Is the tool. Wait, no, that sounds wrong.
No, I think though, I
No,
think
you
it
said
is
it right.
he is the tool.
I don't know. Is there a way for me to like make it pop up in the chat?
No.
Copy and
No.
paste.
Yeah, copy paste.
Let's see. I'll put it in the Discord. And hopefully it all copies correctly. Who knows?
All right.
He's his fingers as a screwdriver.
That's some Inspector Gadget shit.
Thumbnail.
Yeah, essentially, like, again, like it's saying, he could literally drive a railroad spike in with his bare fist and it would not hurt him. His hand essentially becomes the hammer.
So again, he is the tool.
I am the toolkit.
So what I see you doing is turning around, pulling up the slack of the chain, and then just kind of driving your finger into the wall like you're slowly trying to chisel the thing out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not happening quickly.
Oh no, he wouldn't be like trying to rush and like chisel away. He'd be taking his time because he knows that there's going to be increments when they're going to come back. So he's just going to piddle with it as he can, and he'll just kind of hum to himself and be like, "Well, Sasha, it may take me a minute, but I think this is about the best thing I can do." As she like sees him like taking his finger and just like drilling and pushing out stone.
Make sure to hide any debris from that so they don't suspect.
He takes his foot and just swipes at the dust pile. Should be easy.
Split becomes a broom.
One foot is a broom, the other one's a dustpan.
He gets a little pile of dust and he slides it over to hide it behind Sasha.
No, what happens is it becomes like a leaf blower, like
No, vacuum. Vacuum.
That
would be
too
weird.
much.
Yeah.
That'd be too much, but that'd be funny to like watch his foot like just look at his toes and you just see dust slowly going in between his toes. It's like, what are you doing? Vacuuming.
The first thing I thought of with vacuuming is he just leans over and just.
Oh god!
oh,
I
no.
mean,
There's a line of cement dust, like every true craftsman.
Oh no.
Anyway, let's jump over to William and Connor as they are approaching the address they were given. So, Mr. Hughes, how do you want to approach this? Are we just going to go up and knock on the door? Ask if Mr. Smith is there?
excuse me.
You're the local here. You'd probably be better for that job than me potentially losing control of my strength and knocking the door down.
That would make a scene, yeah.
After you.
No, so you're following him up to the door, though?
Yeah.
Okay. He goes to the door, he knocks, it's a fairly nice house. Not like huge palatial or anything, but a little bit later, the door cracks open. There's a middle-aged gentleman there. Yes, may I help you? William introduces himself. This is my associate, Mr. Hughes. We are looking for a Fritz Lloyd Smith. We know, his family used to, or his father, Rupert, used to own this, He's being very careful not to discuss exactly what business is here.
Yeah.
The older man, or the middle-aged man, listens patiently. I'm sorry, sir. Mr. Smith is out of the country at the moment. If you would like to leave your information, I could forward it to him and have him contact you.
Connor just sighs from behind him.
William kind of glances at you to see if you get given any signal as for what you want to do. While he takes out like a little notepad and pencil, starts writing his information down. And he's asking the guy, any idea when Mr. Smith will be back? The man replies that he's vacationing. It could be a couple of weeks, or he might decide to stay longer.
Where's he vacationing at?
The south of France.
I have one more question for you in regards to time, if you don't mind.
Oh, certainly, sir.
When are you going to stop wasting hours?
Beg your pardon, sir?
He was in Olympus recently, and recently came back to London. Everything you've just said is a lie.
In Greece? I'm quite certain he
Quite certain he.
did not head to Greece.
Oh? Where did he head then?
He told me he was going to the south of France.
Hmm.
He has a little spot there that he likes to vacation to.
He'll just narrow his eyes as they sort of glow faintly. Is that the truth?
Door slam.
No,
Like, freaked out look, door slam.
No, he'll catch the door.
William's like, he stops writing, starts putting his notepad up.
And I would like to invoke my epic strength intimidation on him to speak the truth.
I would like to rage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's just been constant since they got into London.
All right. Give me the roll.
See,
I
so
like to rage. I get to rage.
I can use might because I'm invoking epic strength.
Okay.
As a part of the intimidation, since I'm using my strength as part of the intimidation, as he tried to slam the door, I just sort of catch it. Can I use athletics as the skill check for this?
No, I don't think that would work. Using your, that's where the strength is coming in. Actual physical something you're doing is why you get to use your strength.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Let's see.
Because I want to hesitate, because other than the fact I don't have any points in persuasion, I don't want to say persuasion and intimidation are the same thing.
Depends on what skill you use. It'll probably be subterfuge.
Well, except that there's no lie involved here.
Well, there are lies. It's just not Connor's lies.
Let's see. I would say empathy could work, but you're in the same boat there as you are with persuasion.
Yeah.
Maybe make it like warriors
With
and
empathy.
barbarians use might.
Well, that's the attribute I'm using.
Oh,
Because for intimidation, I can use might.
Yeah, he is using might.
survival.
What next do you have?
Integrity, maybe?
Maybe.
I bet your epic strength
Science.
would do something for you.
Well, that's where I'm getting might from.
Oh, okay. That's what's letting you use might.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'd have to use presence.
But yeah, I think persuasion
Close
is pretty much
combat.
all your social skills kind of rolled in together.
All right. So just 5 dice.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
You got this.
Eh,
Or maybe not.
3 successes. Ain't bad.
It's better than mine when I had up to 9.
All right. He also got 3 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Out of combat, I believe we've been saying that tides go to the defender or go to the player. So you're holding the door with one hand, and by this point, the guy is literally leaned up against it with both hands.
Connor will look back. William, do you mind if I just open the door?
But as far as your intimidation, you've definitely intimidated him. He's pushing, and then he just stops pushing and like turns around and starts running further into the house. At which point the door just kind of drifts open anyway.
And he'll just look back at William. Can I go catch him real quick?
William just kind of gestures and looks around to make sure nobody's paying any close attention to this.
And he'll step in, like, out of sight of, like, most of the street, and then epic dexterity uses inhuman speed, just zip up to catch him.
At which point he screams for help, and you hear footsteps elsewhere in the house. And then the door shuts behind you as William comes in and gently shuts the door.
Yep.
Men with guns around the corner. It's an awful lot of guns to be in England.
Oh no.
He'll just say, "That's an awful lot of guns for England," as he has the guy held, and he just turns him to face the men with the guns.
They're like, put him down, and then they kind of look. Their eyes get wide, and they look past you.
Look
Williams tells
past
them, yeah, they look past you
Connor.
like they just saw something weird.
Okay, what's William doing?
Oh, he's just walking. He's shut the door. He's coming behind you, but he's now got like a big ass knight shield out in front of him. You have no idea where that came from or where he could have been keeping it.
Fair enough. Gentlemen, I'll make this easy. You put your guns down, I drop your friend, and then we talk.
The old man's like, please, I'm just a domestic.
Which is why I haven't hit you for lying. And then he'll look at the men with the guns, because you all know as well as I do, you will not stop me with those.
I don't know. We might.
I invite you to try.
And then we're going to cut over to the other guys driving out of town.
I see we deal with a master of suspense.
Yeah, whatever. Now the house you're coming up on is well off the road, very large estate.
I just want to say real quick, while this is happening, while they're driving up there, fake Connor's chilling there, goes, "Oh, somebody pissed him off.
Did he find them?
Oh, that's a lot of guns."
Ah, great. Now we have to make up for that.
And he just goes quiet again.
Pip's like glance over Richard. Oh wait, no,
They can
Pip's not
see
driving.
through.
He's in the back of y'all because y'all are in the little limo.
He can see through the others.
You get to the estate. You pull up to the gate. The driver does some talking. The gate opens. Y'all drive up to the house. As you get out of the car, there are some men standing around like they're security that have walked up. They don't approach the car; they're just sort of there. A couple of women come out of the house. They just kind of stand on the porch as you approach, though. Pip tells you, I don't know who the woman in the back is. The one in front is Lillian Smith. She is Reginald's daughter. She would be Fritz Lloyd's sister. His younger sister. She's the one that inherited this estate.
Evening,
Yeah.
ladies.
Real quick, Jaden will quickly look at Hilarious, be like, cousin, do your thing while we ask these questions. And yeah. She'll walk up to them and be like, we're looking for your brother.
I have not seen Fritz Lloyd in some time. What are you looking for him for?
You need to ask him a couple of questions.
About
We're
what?
doing an invest. That sounds like you know something.
I know the sort of troublemaker he is. What has he got himself into that Americans are poking around looking for him?
I'm going to. I'll just keep nothing but the truth running while they're talking. Just imbue one of my legends for that for now. We're uh we are investigating a couple of disappearances.
Who's disappeared?
Couple of people.
A
in
couple
the
of people
States
from America, yeah.
linked to your brother.
I wasn't aware that my brother had any friends in America
Apparently not.
or any friends.
We didn't say they were friends.
How are they linked to my brother?
We know about. Oh, we do. Okay, because we just had a big chat about it. Well, sins of the father and all that.
She sort of rolls her eyes.
Apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
I'm
So,
not too surprised by that.
where's your brother?
I assume in London. Though, as I said, I'm not sure we've spoken more than a half a dozen times since Father passed.
Is there any other locations besides this one and the place in London that you would know where he would be at?
There's a villa in the south of France that we like to vacation in.
Do you have the address of that? If you would be kind to give it to us.
We're
What
not
is
going to do
your
anything.
intentions towards my brother? We're not close, but
Ah, I read your mind. We don't intend to do anything particularly untoward. But let's just say that the people that he has targeted are important to us.
We won't kill
Only
your brother.
if he doesn't kill our bandmates.
the red-headed woman standing behind her kind of like, oh, well, that escalated.
Well,
Are
I
you
was
sure?
just
Are you
saying
certain you couldn't kill him?
I
Which
mean,
gets Lillian turning around looking at her. You're not helping.
I liked you.
if you're worried about us killing your brother and you do not want us to kill him, I will guarantee he stays alive.
In agony, maybe, but alive.
Let me make a phone call. She turns around and walks back into the house. Doesn't invite you in.
No,
The other woman's
That's
still
fine.
standing out there with you.
I like the redhead.
You like all the redheads. This one's at least not particularly tall, so at least that's trope again.
Jeremy bleeding through a little bit.
Don't cross the streams, man. So there's an awkward moment of silence that the woman finally breaks with. So these kidnapped acquaintances of yours, are they Scions as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that fits with that little shit's obsessions.
Has he done this before? Or at least his father done this before?
No, not exactly. His father had some things set up in other parts of the world that were frankly deplorable. Fritz Lloyd has always been obsessed with the differences in the divine and the mortals. That is something he got from his father. Though he goes, I think his solution would probably be different than his father's. His father's idea was to breed better humans until they were on par with the gods.
Ew.
Yes, it's.
I thought he was just racist. This is gross. I feel uncomfortable.
But doesn't he know that the only way to do that is to breed with said gods?
I don't know that that's
They were
necessarily the
getting that.
only way.
Not the only way. There are chosen, but
And
I
there are
don't
other
know.
there are beings other than the gods that operate at that power level.
Yeah.
Some very powerful fae used to walk these islands.
What stopped them?
Some of it was boredom.
Sounds like the Fae.
There were, of course, involvement by the gods, mortal magicians.
Well, no, I see that no one here, and even apparently uh, people in the proper circle, aren't very big fans of that dinner plate coming behind you, Rappy. Of
They aren't a fan of my dinner plate?
no, they're not a
They're
fan
jealous of it.
of her brother.
Oh, he was a wretched, spoiled little boy. He hasn't changed much as an adult.
Yeah.
He treated
How
he treated poor Lillian rather deplorably.
was oh, okay, never mind then. I was gonna ask how Lillian is so different from him, but that answered my question. I'm an only child, so I don't know what it's like to have siblings.
Well, the boy also lost his mother at a young age, where Lillian had her mother.
So they're half siblings.
Oh yes, they were raised, together and all, but yes, they are technically half siblings.
I only just now knew found out my father is around. That's not really.
Well, with those such as you, that's not uncommon. Not to say that that is less impactful because of that, but
I grew up just the same as anybody else. Went to school, got bullied, all of that.
my father was around, but had little use for me, so I can sympathize to some degree.
I mean, but your mother wasn't crazy. Bad word to use, but kind of sums it up. Crazy as Rupert was, kind of.
No.
So,
My mother was quite loving despite. Never mind, it doesn't matter. Let's see. Who is she looking at? Oh, that's basically, I forgot. With Pocon there, essentially all are all there.
Yep. Fate Connor's just over there, just kind of half listening to what's going on because he's more paying attention to what his real self is doing with all the guns.
Pew pew pew.
Just out of curiosity, who are you all related to, or is that a trade secret?
I am not related to anybody.
I wouldn't say it's a trade secret, but it's like you gotta befriend people before they start telling who you're related to.
And Connor did not lie.
Yeah, no, he's telling the
He's
truth.
not related to anyone. He was made.
Oh,
But he was
that's the
made
truth.
from Wukong's hair, so it's that's getting very Jedi-like. Well, from a certain point of view.
well, see,
Oh,
the
yeah.
only person not related to anybody, besides
Well-
Sasha, is Jaden, because Jaden was literally created from a tree.
Yeah.
So if we're going with that sense, at least you were created from hair
Yeah.
off of his head.
You hope
That was just
his
a
head.
catalyst. He was actually made from iron and clay, is what he was made from.
Okay. The hair was just like the last ingredient or whatever.
Yeah, the hair was just the catalyst to give him life.
To give
That
him
was the
a
chemical
piece of
X.
Wukong.
Yeah, but he was literally made from black iron and clay, which is why his staff in its natural state before it activates is a black iron rod.
Gotcha.
Man, if they go on Maury Povich, must be weird during like with Scions walking around.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot eat mommy's food, I'm sorry. As good as it looks. My little chunky man.
I had a lovely mother who raised me by herself, and that's kind of all I'm willing to divulge until we become better acquainted.
Had you just? Do you mean she's passed?
Have
Oh,
have.
I see. I see.
Adopted.
Oh well, you're lucky then. Most of my family has passed quite some time ago.
I'm sorry for your loss, but
Some of
again,
them,
it
some
doesn't
of them deserve it.
excuse. Fair enough. I was gonna say also doesn't excuse your work.
Doesn't excuse your work. What?
Uh, I keep forgetting his name, but his work.
Oh, Fritz Lloyd. No.
It's Fritz Lloyd, and it keeps throwing me off because I want to say like Fitzgerald.
Yeah, he doesn't exclude F. Scott Fitzgerald's over there.
But it doesn't excuse Fritz Lloyd's work. Is everything all right back there? That call's been going on for a bit.
Who knows? Maybe the boy's not answering his phone.
I mean, of course she's not answering his phone. Is that what she's doing? That's I don't think that's gonna work.
You have to understand that while Lillian is not necessarily fond of her brother, I mean, a lot more fond of him than I am. She doesn't actually want any harm to come to him.
So she's warning him.
Most likely, she's either berating him or demanding to know what he's up to.
That sounds like a warning.
Connor, in
Mm-hmm.
the standoff in the other house, you hear a phone start ringing. Nobody seems to be taking the time to answer it.
Okay. Well, I'll say as they're saying that, Connor steps from the back. Oh, well, he's not answering his phone.
Right, he can speak. Yeah. Long story.
I see. Fascinating.
Can you go tell her that it's not going to be answered?
She sort of looks towards the door. I think she's coming back now anyway.
Okay.
And a minute later, Lily walks out. Or Lillian, rather, walks out.
No answer?
No.
Well, that's
This is
because the
my
phone's
surprise
ringing.
today.
What? Well, yes, I called him. I suppose the phone would have rung.
Well, yes, but the other me is there at the other end. The phone is ringing and currently in a standoff with a bunch of men with guns at the moment.
The other you.
Well, there's 3 of me running around.
She just looks at you. She looks over at the redhead. The redhead just kind of shrugs. He can't lie right now.
That she knows of.
But would she know that that Hilarious did something so they couldn't lie?
I'm just telling you what she said.
She looks at Hilarious and she looks at the redhead. Scion?
She smiles.
Is that why your father couldn't find a use for you?
My father merely wanted my mother. She was already married at the time. There was some stealth and skullduggery involved.
Ah,
Disguises, that sort of thing.
he went Zeus on her.
He turned into a goose?
Or golden shower. Zeus has done
Turned
some
into-
weird stuff.
Deca, get out of my head, because that's exactly what I thought.
Both the Greek kids pop up at the same time. He went Zeus?
Well, not under his own
Yeah.
power, but essentially, yes.
Yeah.
His benefactor was a fan of the, or knowledgeable of the old stories.
I guess we should probably go where he's being about to be shot at.
But can we get the address though for the France Location, please.
Lillian kind of thinks about it.
I'm not gonna kill him. I'll give you my word.
Apparently, we can't lie, so
Does Jaden mean that when she says it?
She does.
Okay.
Jaden won't kill him.
The redhead gives her a nod. Very well. She rattles off. Little town, South France, little town. It's a little
Put it
beachfront
into-
property. They don't own it. It's something they would rent regularly.
I put it on my burner phone's Google Maps.
She's gonna look at Phil Connor and be like, how long will it take you to get there?
France? That's a whole ass.
Me or other me?
You here right now. Other you is currently busy.
Are you gonna have Connor run through the under the English Channel and down to the south of France?
Yes.
Go.
You know what? Yeah, he might.
I mean, to be fair though, wouldn't he just be able to run on top the water with the speed he's going?
I don't remember if that's a thing in this system or not. Probably is.
Probably. I mean, with the
He's
speed
going-
he's going.
If he's going mock Jesus, he can probably walk on water.
And I was about to say, if he's
Actually-
going mock
Hey,
Jesus, he should be able to do
actually,
that.
As part of epic dexterity, it literally states as long as he's moving,
Mhm.
That's
can
right,
walk
because you can do the
across
whole Crouching
water.
Tiger, Hidden Dragon thing. That's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Epic
he doesn't
dexterity.
have to be moving at mock Jesus to do that. He can just go really fast while he's doing it.
I mean, Jaden can do the same thing because of her moccasins, but
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll take care of the real you.
We're gonna go to the real you, but I want you to check this location out. See what you can find.
I mean, I'm not gonna activate anything right now because I might need that for a fight, considering that's a lot of guns.
No,
But
that's fine.
It's
But I
fine.
know you're.
and then mid sentence he just
There we go.
moving at
Off-
epic dexterity speed, max movement dice.
Off we go.
He's not activating Heavenly Stride, but he's just gone.
Lillian's like,
Fair.
oh my.
Thank you for your help, ladies. You've been a wonderful help. You can call me.
Did you even give her your number?
I did now.
Jaden will of course roll her eyes, look at Pip, and be like, "All right, we need to get to the other location now."
Back to the car then. Thank you, ladies. As y'all start to the car, the redhead looks at Pip. A moment. He kind of steps down and whispers something to him that has his eyes kind of go wide. He kind of stiffens. Oh no, ma'am. We merely came up here to ask about Fritz Lloyd. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I understand. And he turns around and kind of double times it to the car.
You good?
Yes, I'm fine.
You good?
I'm fine. A little shook up, but I'm fine.
Oh, he just activated the
Yeah.
spurted out, didn't he?
Oh, spurt it out. All right, what did you roll to resist that?
Oh, okay.
I
Let
thought
me
you were doing
find
the
it real quick.
honesty thing, which is why I had
No,
to
no,
be
no.
shook up. But
Things spread it out. Da-da-da-da-da.
Are you good? The lady scares the shit out of me.
Presence. Oh wait, that's my presence in legend versus their composure in legend.
all right.
If it pleases the court, I will roll my presence plus my legend is 2, so I'm just gonna roll my medicine.
Okay. As long as the dice numbers come out the same, that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, that's not terrible for old Pip. Not
2
the craziest in the
successes.
world. He also got 2 successes. And you're the player. Okay? Yeah, fine. I'm a little shook up, but I'm fine. That was Morgan friggin' Le Fay.
Eh.
If I'd known that, I wouldn't have stepped
Wait.
foot. If I'd known that, I
Wait,
wouldn't have
wait.
stepped foot on this property.
Wait, whoa.
Sasha's
Of
gonna be
course.
so mad.
Jaden, of course, will stop because she has looked up other. Like, she's actually.
Well, Morgana, I think, was more her, actual name. The Morgan version's like, down through the
Yeah, yeah, no, but I mean that's actually her.
Yes.
Cool. Let's go.
I'm lucky she didn't kill me when I stepped on the property.
What's your beef with Morgana Le Fay?
Oh, he's still got the verbal vomit thing going on.
Huh?
Oh, my Order of Knights has had beef with her since like the 900, like the 500 ADs or whatever.
Eh.
She's
Can you
very-
drive and talk at the same time?
well, he's not driving. There's another driver in the car that hasn't gotten out of the
Okay.
car.
Okay. Cool.
He's in the back
Then
with y'all.
Yeah. Cool. Forgot about that.
And yeah, he just keeps rambling about, basically that last little bit was her basically telling you, basically his order better not be paying too much attention to Lillian. And he was assuring her, we don't have her like under observation or nothing. We just, basically we were just looking for Prince Lloyd, and that led us here.
All right.
I didn't even know she was still active on the island.
I'll let it waver. Just kind of like hold my hand like that. Whew.
And you best forget she's active on the island.
Yeah.
No, the order needs to know she's here, but though she hasn't caused any trouble for a very long time.
Maybe she turned over a new leaf.
It's possible. She did take her brother's body to Avalon. They had not previously gotten along very well.
Sometimes extenuating circumstances will change somebody's personality.
Perhaps.
That applies to demigods and gods as well. Maybe more gradually, though.
By the time y'all get back to London, Pip has calmed down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He's been very in control up to this point, and now he had a brief little freak out. He has been texting madly. Oh, at some point, Talarius has probably checked his phone and realized it was turned off.
That's fair.
In fact, everybody's electronics appear to have been turned off at some point.
Turn it back on.
Oh yeah, it boots back up fine.
I just boot it back on.
You don't have any recordings from the restaurant.
That's fine.
It's like, you don't have any recordings from the meeting room. You walk into the restaurant, and it's like as soon as you cross into the meeting room, everything shuts down.
Sure.
All right, so y'all are riding back to where the guns are. So let's jump back to where the guns are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. Connor's sheet is still up on session.
Oh, sorry. Should be a map of London. All right, so the phone eventually stops ringing. The guys with the guns put the man down. You are trespassing.
And you are violating the law with all those firearms.
Well, that's between us and the law. You trespassing is between us and you, and the law.
And those firearms are between you and the law. And if you shoot me, I'm well within rights to defend myself.
Not when you've broken into somebody's house, no.
Stand your ground only works in Texas.
Mm-hmm. And he starts walking towards the gunman with the man.
They open fire. They don't seem to be all that concerned about the man.
Okay. And as they start pulling trigger, he'll just throw the guy to the side and he'll charge the line.
Poor old man hits the wall and hits the ground unconscious. You hear William,
Better than
holy
dead.
hell.
So, what would you like me to roll for that?
I don't know. Anything except your combat skill. All right, so you're charging them. Are you using your staff, or are you just going in?
Well, you have your gloves on, don't you?
He has the gloves on. He's fighting hand to hand.
All right. Well, it'd be close. Still be your close combat skill. Oh, excuse me. Still be your close combat skill. With either your might or your dex, depending if you're going for finesse or raw power.
He's going for finesse.
Okay.
So
Are you attacking one of them, or are you going to split them into multiple attacks on multiples of them?
he's gonna try to hit 2 or 3.
All right, which isn't it, 2 or 3?
How clustered are they?
Oh, they're pretty close together. You're basically in like a hallway.
Okay, how many are there?
There are 3.
3. Oh, he's gonna try to hit all 3 then.
Okay.
Oh no, AOE, go!
I don't have that. Okay. So
Yeah.
8 successes.
All right.
with
How are you
dexterity.
dividing that up between them?
He's gonna, since he's attacking all 3, he's gonna get the free hit on all 3. If that applies. I think.
Well, when you do a combined action, which is essentially what this is, you take the lowest die pool, which this is the same die pool, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And your successes have to be split up amongst them. So are you hitting them? You said you had 8 successes total. You rolled 4, and then you got your various enhancements.
Yes.
So all of them could take 2, and then you would have 2 more successes. 6 using 6 of your successes. Their defense is a 2. Let me put that out there first. So burning 2 successes to hit each one of them is 6 of your successes. That leaves 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
So you could add another success to one of them, or blind one of them, or use a maneuver or whatever.
He'll do a leg sweep and knock 2 of them down.
Okay.
To burn those other 2 successes.
It's kind of irrelevant at this point because they've all got one. It's only 1 health. These are like the mookiest of mooks.
Oh, okay. So they're all down anyway.
Right. 2 of them hit the ground. One of them just goes flying back where you punched him. And then all is silent in the hallway.
He just kind of bounces on his feet for a second before.
You look back at William. He's now got a sword in his other hand. Impressive. And then he checks the domestic guy. Make sure he's only unconscious. Kind of rolls him into the safety position.
Yeah.
On his side.
I tried to not throw him into the wall. I wanted to get him out of the way of the bullets.
It's all right. I think you'll be fine. It may have been fear as much as anything.
Fair enough.
Uh,
Before it comes up, I only wanted to test their integrity. If they were going to fire on a hostage without any problem, and he just gestured to the completely laid out men with no remorse.
He goes, well, it doesn't look like you killed anybody, so a few bumps and bruises. They're obviously up to no good. He kind of kicks one of the guns.
Mm-hmm.
Have me roll up like, hey, what's up, guys?
Well, this has been going on simultaneously. I've got to drive back.
Yeah, you're fine.
Jumping over to Sasha and Robert. Robert, you have gotten your chain loose from the wall. Just kind of a chip.
Okay. So. Oh, excuse me.
Now you still got the arm shackled and the long bit of chain, but you are free to move
Use
around.
that as a weapon.
You probably could.
Well, he'll kind of look at Sasha and be like, all right, so for now, since we don't know when their next time coming in, at least keep the chains up to the wall, make them look like they're still being of use. I'll try my best not to cause too much motion to make them fall if I can. Essentially, he's gonna try his best to make it, go possum, to where it's like, oh yeah, I'm still chained. Look, see, chains on me. You're fine. And he'll try his best.
Where the shackles go in is low to the ground, so you can kind of sit in front of it.
Yeah, and he'll just kind of remain there for a little bit, and he'll kind of look over to him like, so I'll work on yours next when we have a safer gauge of when they might come around.
She just kind of nods.
And then y'all start hearing something that sounds suspiciously like gunfire.
At that point, Robert gets up and's like, you know what? Never mind. Well,
How about let's just do this now?
yeah, sounds perfect.
Sounds like it sounds like
at-
we have a distraction.
Yeah, but at this point, is it possible for him to be a bit more forceful, since some stuff's going on upstairs to where, ooh, even
like-
better, could he actually do any damage to break the handcuffs themselves? Like just
Lever,
take
fulcrum.
Do you have epic strength?
no. I was thinking more like could he try again and look and see here try and put his hand in a position to take the other one and slam it down like a hammer. Just see if he
Chipping
can
out
pop it.
the stone is the quickest way to get anybody somewhat loose from these things.
Okay, then he'll go back over there. But can he do it faster now that he has easier use of both hands and
Yes.
put one hand in
Absolutely.
and use the other as a hammer?
Let's see. Both of y'all give me, let's say, cunning. Cunning survival rolls, I guess. That'll work.
Oof. Okay.
I'm okay with the cunning, not so much the survival.
Yep.
Same.
That went better than I was gonna
Ooh.
expect it to go, considering I'm only rolling 5 dice.
Well, let's see. I probably might earn us momentum.
Hey.
Holy crap! I called it.
You got a momentum.
To be fair, you were rolling 2 dice.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Damn.
I had nothing in survival. That's why when he said that, I was like,
So
okay.
Robert is oblivious, and he's just driving his fingers into the stone. Sasha, on the other hand, here's the key in the lock.
Key, lock.
He stops and quickly sits back down.
She tries to sweep any stone behind her back.
The armed guy that had stepped in before with Fritz Lloyd steps quickly into the room. He opens the door, immediately looks at the two of you, but you're still sitting where you're supposed to. Comes in, turns around, shuts the door, and locks the door again from the inside.
Something going on.
Shut up.
We heard gunfire.
Shut up.
Or what? I'm already chained to a
Question.
wall.
Did Marcus hear the slamming of the door? Not Marcus, Connor. I have too many characters.
You do.
He didn't slam the door; he just shut it.
Okay, I was about to say, did I
So
hear any
I
of
would
that?
say, from a floor below, probably not.
Fair enough. He's looking for anything that could be like a hideout. Him being former gangster, probably basement. That's his logic.
Oh.
The guy walks over close to Robert and kind of he's watching the door and kind of got his gun pointed at Robert.
Robert won't really turn too much. He'll just kind of cock his head like, I take it you're being threatened.
Shut up.
Is the guy paying any real attention to Sasha right now? Like, is he more going between Robert and the door?
Mostly he's just looking at the door. He glanced at Robert when Robert was talking and told him to shut up.
She's gonna test her chain just a little bit.
Okay, give me a might.
Why you gotta pick might, man?
Well, you're doing
you're
something that
yanking on
causes.
the chain.
I know.
Like, to be fair, he is picking the more logical choice.
I know, but me over here with my one might is just like, man.
I'll let you add your athletics to it.
Man.
Maybe Sasha lifts. Who knows?
We got 1 dice in each of these, folks. Let's see how this goes. Who wants some momentum? Hey!
And you get a momentum.
You could literally have pulled some momentum, but no.
I would have had to have successes though to. Well, no, those are just heavy dice, but eh.
Yeah.
Eh,
And you do it poorly
late
enough
now.
that he notices. And he's like, quit that.
or you'll what?
He turns around and kicks Robert.
Eyes narrow, Kill Bill sirens at 95%.
Robert acts like it hurt, like it did something. Like, oh God, why? Even though it probably didn't really phase him. Come on, camera.
It wasn't like a good solid hit, real attack. It was kind of a warning type thing.
Or he'd probably be like, "Oh, come on." You do not know how much in me I'm just sitting here like, how badly do I want to try these chains as a whip right now?
Wrap him around the guy's neck.
Eat his ass.
Kick his
Actually,
ass.
Wrap him around your
actually,
fist
yeah.
and punch. I mean, you're
Well,
shackled,
I mean,
so
you-
punching might be hard.
Would I
I
be?
mean-
Do the double-handed, Captain Kirk slam.
I mean, you did put
Ooh.
points into close combat.
Yeah, I did add an extra point to close combat. I mean, I'll give it a shot. See if I can't wrap my chains around his neck.
All right, give me a roll. As you spring
What
from
you
the
want?
ground unexpectedly.
What roll would you like, sir?
Close combat and might or dexterity.
Thought I was dead, but it was me, Dio!
I'll give it dexterity. So dex. No, not that. Stop going to the athletics. Thank you. All right, please RNG. Please.
Yeah,
Hey!
successes.
Hey.
All right, his defense is a 2,
Punk.
so that gives you.
Wait, where's
see,
the
combat
little
stats.
free? I was supposed to say, where's the freebie sheet for close combat?
It's in the journal.
Yeah, I pulled it up real quick.
Let's see, blinding is 1. Establish a grapple.
I mean, that's essentially what he would be doing because he's taking the chain
Knockdown.
and.
Now, are you also doing damage? You do damage for free. Are you also doing damage?
Oh yeah, no, he's doing damage.
Okay. In that case, you get the chain around, and you pull it tight, and he starts kind of choking. He can't get the gun where he can shoot you, and after just a minute, he kind of drops the gun, and he's just clawing at the chain. As you're sitting there, kind of. Shh.
Sasha's gonna try her chain again.
Yeah.
All right, give me another roll.
Yeah, no,
I'm gonna
Robert's just like
add some momentum. I had 2.
All right.
Okay.
You're spending 2 momentum,
Yeah.
Alright.
which gets you back
At
down to
least
where y'all
Ace
started
is-
in the session.
Woo.
Well, another
We
one.
rolled that 10.
2 successes.
That's 2 successes.
2
2
successes.
successes.
Hey, okay, 2 successes. You pull it. Finally pops loose.
Okay, she's gonna go over there. She's not gonna be as nice as Robert's being.
Uh-oh.
She's gonna start trying to whip this guy like in the torso with her chain.
The first lick, and he seems to go unconscious. Like he was almost on the verge of being choked out, and then
She might hit him one more time after that.
That's right. Death save.
Robert be like, he's out. He's out. You're good.
y'all don't have access to his pistol.
He would immediately hand Sasha the pistol.
No, you seem to be very good with. Well,
He grabs the chains and then kind of does a little swinging motion like, I have another ranged weapon.
okay then.
Oh, there's
I
also
have both
key-
the ranged
He
and
also has
melee.
the keys to the shackles on his person.
Well, Robert would have probably taken the time to be like, wait,
Maybe-
does he
maybe I
have
should've-
keys?
Maybe I should have led with that. But anyway. So you certainly still have access to the chains if you want to carry them around.
Oh no, he will, but he'll take them off and essentially be like, well, at least my wrists will feel better. And he gets the other one. He gets the shackles off Sasha. Like, right, you have a weapon. He holds the chains. I have a weapon. Fantastic. Let's go.
Lead the way.
And Robert takes the chains, wraps them around his arms for essentially close combat maneuvers, and he leads up the stairs.
Sasha's gonna have presence of magic activated the whole time. So anything magical that she could like see, it'll ping.
Okay.
Or no, if she's near it, she'll know. I don't think it says she has to see it.
There's a couple of effects on the room.
Hmm.
They're not especially strong or anything.
Okay. She's like, we'll come back to that if we don't burn this place to the ground.
It's
Fair
fine.
enough.
Round.
All right, so y'all start up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Upstairs, Connor and William, you continue to make your way through the house.
Okay.
What I mean, are you searching room to room or?
He's actually going to be him having safe houses and being a former gangster. He's actually going to be looking for like hidden places or like basements to hide things in.
Okay.
I'm using that as his reasoning anyway.
You go to the, so you're poking around. You get to the back of the house, where the kitchen is located. There's a door to one side. Could be there's a couple of doors on either side. You check the first one. You check is a pan. It just opens up to the pantry.
Okay.
As you're crossing back over to the other room, the other door starts to open. Gun barrel peeks around the edge.
He'll duck out of the way of the.
Not like it's it's like somebody's leading with a gun out the door. Not like leaning it out to shoot at somebody that already knows there.
Yes. Yeah, he'll sort of lean back and wait to see who comes out of the door.
Sasha had the pistol.
Yep.
Sasha steps through the door, pistol in hand. You see Robert follow behind her with like a big thing of chains.
Immediate monkey hug on Sasha.
Probably almost shoots him.
Robert Robert has the
doesn't-
chains wrapped, ready to punch.
He doesn't care. Immediate monkey hug.
Robert will kind of pause, like, "Oh, well, cavalry's here."
Where are we?
You're in London.
What?
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, you are in London. We kind of followed you over here. The others are checking out someplace else. I'm with a member of the local mage cabal. Also, they apparently just met Morgan Le Fay.
Oh.
The Lorca Buffet?
Apparently.
Well, all right then.
I missed all of the fun.
About that time,
we had-
Robert and Sasha, you see,
Fitzroy's is here, by the way.
Oh, really?
y'all see a man in a suit, with a shield and sword, kind of stepping into the kitchen behind Connor.
Oh, hi, William.
Oh, forgot. Oh,
Hey, I found him.
How much
No,
longer
you're not
before
looking
we
in that
get
direction,
there?
Connor. The other two see it first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Robert would kind of like the chains are still wrapped around his arms. He just kind of lets his arms kind of droop and like, I take it you're the aide of my friend here.
What? Oh, hey, William.
Oh yes. Well, he didn't let his guard down, but he's not focused on y'all. He's
As
his
still
head's on a
hugging
swivel kind of thing.
Sasha, like
Oh,
probably
pleasure to meet
actually
you.
like lifts her up a little bit. Is like, hey, I found him.
Oh, it looks like they were well on their way to
down.
rescuing themselves.
that's me.
Well, Robert will look over to William Black. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, sir. I have to assume that you two caused the commotion, aka the gunfire up here.
Wait, if we're in London, why was there that many guns?
That's a good question.
Everyone knows the one law about London.
We know one thing: you cannot have guns. Or
He'll
not
look-
that many.
He'll look back at William. Also, apparently, Fitzlord Smith was here at some point. Is he still here?
That we are unclear of.
See, I'm not allowed to break any more doors down because that can shatter gateways.
Yes. As far as we know, they were preparing a medical facility for us, or something medical-wise somewhere else, because they wish to do MRI scans and other things. They already took blood samples and whatnot. So I can only imagine the fun this is going to become.
Did you happen to see Smoochums?
No, I didn't.
How far Jaden's Hilarious and Pip out to get to the house?
It was about an hour's drive getting out there, so
Okay.
yeah, a little bit. And of course, Fo Connor can keep you up to date on what's going on. So.
Yeah, he.
Oh,
it's-
Connor's not with us.
O'Connor's running
Oh
to
no,
France.
that's right.
That's right. Yeah.
Fo Connor was is currently running across the English Channel.
Fo Connor is hauling ass.
Every now and then, somebody on a boat's like, not that
But
what he's
Robert
doing is
would-
completely unheard of in this world.
But Robert would have just kind of thrown in, it's like, yeah, Fitzroy kind of mentioned this place used to have kennels, so they were keeping Smoochums somewhere. Of course, they use Smoochum as a threat to keep Sasha in line.
William
Well,
says
we
over
can
the window,
always.
clearly that worked. He's gonna return to the back window. I see some kennels out there. That may be where he's at.
Put me down. I'm going to go. I'm getting my dog. Hippo.
Okay.
Lion.
He'll set her
Alligator.
down. He'll set her down.
Pat. I'll be fine. I've got a gun.
I can see that. I've got gloves.
Don't let the
What
Bobby.
have you got there? A gun! No!
No. Flatlander.
Of course, Robert being just a little bit of a smartass, like, well, joke's on you, but I got chains.
We just have all kinds of armaments that are probably illegal here. I'm gonna go and peeks around the corner towards the kennels.
You pick out the back door. You don't see anybody else out there.
Sneak across the backyard. Actually, no, she'll just do walk unnoticed.
You get to the kennels. You see just kind of sitting. Smoochums is just kind of sitting out. You can see the ground's been kind of torn up around like the door and other parts of the fence where he's you get the impression he's tried to get out.
Is it just a simple kind of lever door, or is it a key situation, or?
It's got kind of a bolt you put on it, but it's not locked.
Okay, she will unbolt it and then proceed to hands-on crocodile cheeks. Woojoo, 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 woojoo.
Well, as soon as the door starts to swing open, if you've still got the unnoticed thing, the door swings open, and you've seen how fast crocodiles sit there and they'll sit there,
Oh,
and then when something gets close enough, they kind of charge to snap at something.
yeah, no,
He does that
she'll
quick little
turn it
charge
on.
as soon as the door is open, and then if you let yourself be noticed,
Yeah, she would
he
turn it
keeps
on.
charging, but it's not an aggressive charge anymore.
Yeah, she would turn it back off and probably get knocked over by 300 pounds of crocodile, hippo, lion.
I'm trying to think of how something with a crocodile head would express affection.
Lots of head bumps.
Probably. Boops you with his snout repeatedly.
Yep. Very affectionate nibbles. No teeth.
I also imagine it makes a different pitch with that little grumble it does.
Bouncing around.
Kind of like a very interesting purr, so to speak.
Oh, that's right. I can't post in the chat. Dang it. Otter was asking what this wonderful creature is. Or glory, excuse me. glorious creature.
Smoochums is an amut, which is rear end of a crocodile, middle section of a
I thought
lion.
it was the head of a crocodile.
Or rear end of a hippo, middle section of a lion, head of a crocodile.
It is a very unique combo of an animal, that's for damn sure.
3 deadliest, three largest man-eating animals in ancient Egypt.
Otter's like, I'll take 10.
Yeah,
I
Me
know.
too, buddy. Me
that sounds
too.
about right
Now, the one she's got's only about Rottweiler size, but
for now.
For now.
yeah. Oh yeah, he's a growing boy.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how much bigger Spruce is also gonna grow.
Have
the
you
end.
seen Cerberus?
At the end, we can just ride them into battle.
I played Hades. I
Basically-
know how big that thing gets.
Yes.
All right. So, in further exploration of the house, you don't find anybody else on the bottom floor. When you get up to the top floor, all the doors on the top floor have those same kind of sigils like you found on the one in Olympus.
Oh, okay. He will stop and look back at William, say, so these all have those same sigils as the one that I shattered in Olympus that
Where's
got
the
them
guy?
here in the first place.
He's made a bloody house of doors.
Yes, he has.
Huh. Wanker's been busy. This is some serious work.
Robert's going to kind of interject, like, so I take it this is a way to open a door and just walk into another location.
Yes, but it's very power intensive.
Well, obviously the fool has plenty of it to spare. How he's powering it, I can only imagine.
So y'all hold the house till the rest of the group gets here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right at 9 o'clock. So we'll wrap here. We'll
Yeah.
start up next week.
I will like to say that since there's no obvious sign of combat right now, and he has his Sasha, he has a Robert. The Connor running across the English Channel is going to activate Heavenly Stride.
Mock Jesus.
Just ew! It's
We've
like
been cleared for
tidal wave.
takeoff.
He's kicking up a wake as he goes along.
It's like he was already causing a small wake, and now that wake has just tripled in size. As he is just hauling ass across the way.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hits the
So
pressure
anyway,
like
we'll start next week. We'll start up here. Y'all have taken Fritz Lloyd's House of Doors. Whatever that means.
Mm-hmm.
The band is reunited with 2 English locals.
Yeah.
When the second batch shows up and starts walking in, Pip also suddenly has a sword and shield that nobody saw where he pulled him from.
Cool trick.
Who's down there?
You recognize my voice.
Well, yeah, I know, but I just found Robert and Sasha, so I need to know if I need to kick your ass.
Not yet.
Pip's like, it's just
Sweet.
us.
Okay, cool. You want to help figure out this hall of doors up here?
Hall
Next
of
session.
Doors. But yes, next session. So I hope everybody that showed up today enjoyed it. We thank you for coming by. I hope my players had fun. I certainly had fun running it. Though I went to the trouble of grabbing that map of London and didn't even use it really. Overprint.
Hey, that never hurts, Chief.
Well, I say that like it was effort. It's actually a map I had for my Icons game. I was going to reuse, but anyway. And if anybody out there is in the mood for some more gaming, Thursday we have a Knight's Ransom, which is Maddie's homebrew 5th edition campaign. On Saturday we have the Stolen Cities, which is also homebrew 5th edition. On Monday we've got Cap's Troubleshooters, which is also 5th edition homebrew. And then of course next week we'll be back, or next Tuesday we'll be back with some more The World at War. So thank y'all for coming by, and we'll see you then.
You can't see, but I'm waving.
Okay.
Where'd the ending go?